Welcome back, everybody, to the Atlanta Hawks franchise. It is officially time to get the offseason underway, and I've been waiting to film this for the past few days because I've been trying to finish out a 2025 draft class, and I haven't necessarily perfected it by any means. I barely even perfected the 2024 one, but I'm ready to advance to the offseason because I have just about, I would say at least 30 prospects completely done for the most part. I would say throughout the first 3 pages, all of these players I have gone through and adjusted as far as attributes, looking them up on, getting their draft profiles and stuff. Because a lot of these players you've definitely heard of. Some of them I've never heard of at all. But then as far as like the, page 4, 5, and 6, these players are here. How accurate are their stats and attributes? I don't really know. Not that accurate. I will say the first round should be pretty good. But you won't have anybody that's like black when they should be white. Like everyone should look the part, even if their attributes or positions aren't necessarily accurate in the second round. But anyway, that shouldn't be the reason to stop being able to film this series because I want to get this series underway. The Atlanta Hawks lost in the play-in last week. They are officially in rebuild mode with the draft capital that we have, with the questions we have at certain positions, and with the kind of blow up we had towards the tail end of the season. I mean, we were almost 10 games above 500 before the All-Star break, and we didn't even make the playoffs at all. So we have a lot of questions to figure out. First things first, Garrison Matthews, team option, $2 million. Probably going to accept it. I know it's not a very valuable player in Garrison Matthews, who is fine in real life, but for the sake of the game, whatever. And also, just so you guys know, a 3.5 star, according to my rosters, is not that good. That's like the average NBA player or a decent role player. 3 stars is basically just like a backup level player, and then 5 stars is like a superstar, and then a 4 star is like a good solid starter. That's kind of how I have it set up. For the sake of getting realistic stats and scores, which you guys have asked about in the comments before, that's why these rosters are the way that they are. That's why I've made them and done that. So anyway, PJ Tucker accepts his player option. Oh, that's great stuff. How much are we paying him? He accepts $11 million. Yeah, he will definitely not make it to the beginning of the season as we take on the draft lottery here. So we have the 11th best odds. We have a 2% chance, and Sacramento is already moving, and we fall to 12. Oh my God! So this is not good for us. The Jazz get the number 1 overall pick, and then it is Sacramento jumping up 11 spots. Then the Spurs, Wizards, Portland, and Golden State. So we definitely got hosed here. Who else's pick do we have? We have the Clippers first round pick, I want to say. Lost in the second round. So that pick is going to be probably somewhere in the middle 20s. And also the draft class that I imported that I am currently looking at as far as what is scouted is not my entire final draft class. That you can find in my Discord. I did definitely make some adjustments. Like I lowered Zachary Sachet to a 4.5 star potential. I think I might have even done the same for Alex Sarr to show more of a lack of a true number 1 overall pick in this draft. So some of it's going to be a little bit different, and some of these players are also going to have developed in college, so they might jump up and down the boards. But regardless of the fact, I'm going to be targeting probably a big man, whether it be a forward or a center, but we will definitely take it as it comes. So we could definitely look to maybe add Reed Shepherd if he's on the board still. I'm going to just try to take advantage of the value I can get. I just want to see how this board shakes out. Alex Sarr goes number 1, Reed Sachet number 2. The Spurs get Nikola Topic to pair up with Wemby. Cody Williams goes to the Wizards. Trailblazers take Montes Buzelis. Rob Dillingham goes to the Warriors. Jacoby Walter to the Magic. The Nets take Keyshawn George in the lottery. That's pretty impressive. Misi goes to the Rockets. Jared McCain to the Bulls. Alex Tuhey goes in the lottery, and we have 12, 29, and 41. So we have a lot of good options here, and the number 1 player that I was definitely targeting is here on the board. There is Tijan Salon, who could be a really good player, but he is not projected to go for a while. But Donovan Clingan, who, again, I raised his attributes in the last draft class update, but right now he's still very solid. He could be a very good big man for us. And looking at who's on the board, I think he's one of the best players available. I was already aiming towards targeting him. I think we will go ahead and take Donovan Clingan out of UConn. Says Los Angeles Pandas. The colleges don't matter, but Donovan Clingan is the pick at 12 overall. Reed Shepherd goes 1 pick after, which kind of sucks because I was really hoping he would fall, but maybe we'll get a good depth pickup at the later end of the first round. Kevin McCullough goes to the Knicks. Izan Alamansa to the Pelicans. Stephon Castle goes to the Mavs. Zach Edey to the 76ers to back up Joel Embiid. Couple other good players here. Ryan Dunn. Ron Holland falls all the way to 27, and we pick here at 29. So who just went right before? Deron Holmes is gone. We probably weren't going to target him because we already took a center. Dalton Connect is still here. Devin Carter is also a player I really like out of Providence. Very tenacious rebounder. I am thinking that we go with Dalton Connect. He has fallen towards the end of the first round, and we're going to snag him with the 29th overall pick. So now we should be able to get another really good player at, I think, 41 is where it's at. Tijan Salon is also here. That seems like just a steal of a pick. He's probably going to be a lottery pick at this point. His draft stock is definitely falling in real life, but to be able to pick him with a 4.5-star overall potential, I know it's going to be quite the project now, but I mean, compared to everybody else that we could end up picking up, I say we go for it. Tijan Salon in the second round. Again, didn't get a lot of playing time in college. He's going to be a developmental player for us, but we are going to grab him at the end of the second round, or I guess the middle of the second round. That is going to be it for the 2024 NBA draft. We get a lot of really good players. So let's go ahead and sign these players. We get Donovan Clingan at the 12th overall pick. He's going to be a great player for us. Hopefully starts, honestly, pretty soon at the center spot. Dalton Connect, a very high ceiling, high floor player. Well, a medium ceiling, but very high floor. And Tijan Salon, the huge upside play, if we can end up developing him, a 4.5-star prospect out of France, has a good jumper, very lanky, athletic, high defensive potential, and we move on to free agency, and this is where it's all going to be, serious, and this is where it all happens, all right? Because what we decide to do here, we don't have a lot of players to bring back, but what we decide to do as far as trades, that's where it really matters. We're going to release Dylan Windler to start. Wesley Matthews also going to get released. Garrison Matthews basically fills the same role for $2 million. Sadiq Bey is somebody, as we don't even have enough roster spots. What's happening here? PJ Tucker, you are gone. Sadiq Bey is somebody that I'm definitely considering bringing back. There is a lot of options in free agency. If we look at our current lineup, Sadiq Bey would be projected to start for us at the 3. Josh Giddey is here. So Josh Giddey being here, we bought him on the low for Clint Capella, did a pick swap later on. He was really ruining the spacing there, and I think that we're completely fine to probably let go of Sadiq Bey. We have Giddey. He can play the forward spot with his size. Dalton Connect could develop in that same spot as well, but we definitely could, regardless of whether we bring him back, stand to upgrade at that position. So unfortunately, Sadiq Bey, he is going to be gone. That means that we have potential to bring in somebody in free agency. Who is it going to be? If we look at all the potential players that could be not re-signing, Nick Claxton is somebody that I would definitely consider bringing in. We do have Donovan Clingan, but I don't want Donovan Clingan to start right away. Aneka Kongwu was not good in his, chance to be the number 1 option for us. Isaiah Hartenstein would not be a very good starting center for us. He's definitely a better spark plug off the bench. And just looking at our overall options, I really like the idea of giving a big offer to Nick Claxton. He's not asking for a ton of money. We could lock him up for a long-term deal. If we gave him 15 mil over 3 with a team option, then we have full control over him. He wants to play for a contender, which we aren't really. He's happy with the team location. He'd get the amount of minutes he needs. So Nick Claxton could be a very good signing for us. So we're going to throw a contract his way. We could have him and then a backup center in Donovan Clingan, and then, maybe Aneka Kongwu becomes expendable. I don't know. We just seriously need a forward so bad right now. It's not good. DeJounte Murray and Trae Young, I don't want to do it if I don't have to, but it feels inevitable at this point. Nick Claxton does sign with us, however, and that is a huge signing. We get a defensive rim protector with high upside on the offensive side as well. James Harden goes back to the Clippers, and now we've got somebody to slot in at the center spot. If we put Aneka Kongwu at the 4, which I don't want to do, what does that look like? Jalen Johnson, DeJounte Murray. I'm glad we brought in Nick Claxton just for the sake of having a really good player, and 15 mil over 3 is a pretty good deal as well. But to be honest, the center spot for us is it's a little tight, because we have Bruno Fernando, Donovan Clingan, and Aneka Kongwu. So I know it's probably kind of stupid to bring in Nick Claxton, but regardless of the fact that we have 3 centers, none of them are nearly as good as Nick Claxton currently is. I don't think I want to bring in any other free agents. Our max roster is pretty much set at this point. We're going to go to the last day of free agency. Reggie Jackson goes back to the Pistons. That's a fun little storyline for everybody. But I think it is time to unveil the master trade. You guys didn't want me to trade DeJounte Murray away. So I didn't. And what happened, we all know. But you know what? Regardless of the fact that I want you guys to be a part of the series, I'm not going to let you have the final say, because I know how to run this team best, and you guys just are okay with mediocre. I'm not. So I'm going to orchestrate something massive, something that's going to change the way this team looks, because if you look at the way this team is slotted out right now, regardless of who we start at the 4, regardless of who starts at the 3, even if we threw Dalton Connect here, this team, top to bottom, it's not winning anything. So the price has definitely gone up for Brandon Ingram at this point. DeJounte Murray played pretty well down the stretch when Trae Young was injured, but the trade is finally happening. I don't care what you guys say. DeJounte Murray, it's either DeJounte Murray or Trae Young. So you guys pick DeJounte Murray, Bogey, and the Thunder first, which is basically a second-round pick next year, in exchange for Brandon Ingram and Jordan Hawkins. We are making it happen. I figured out, based on who we were able to draft, who would slot where, and I am finally making the trade for a playmaking, dominant, forward, wing player in Brandon Ingram. DeJounte Murray is going to be helping out the Pelicans quite a bit, and we get a huge upgrade, a huge scoring punch at the 3 spot. Now, Jalen Johnson can play the 4. We also get Jordan Hawkins as well, who's a solid, bench player for us. But Josh Giddey is one of the guys where I'm like, why are you even here, But eventually, I'd want Dalton Knecht to start at the 2, and this is how I want the lineup to be eventually. So it would be Trae, Knecht, Ingram, Jalen Johnson, Nick Claxton. And I'm noticing Onyeka Okongwu and Josh Giddey are just not making a lot of sense. Jordan Hawkins, I am happy to have as kind of what Josh Giddey could have been. He's not nearly as big as far as size is concerned, but he does kind of provide similar skill sets as far as being able to play the 1 through 3. He is also on a 1-year contract left. So if we could even move him for just about anything, we say, hey, you know what? This trade didn't work last year. It is what it is. We're basically just taking Clint Capella and moving him somewhere. So who could use Josh Giddey in the final year of his contract? We need to find a home for Onyeka Okongwu, now that I really think about it, because he does not fit the long-term future for this team. Clearly, Donovan Clingan brought in to be the starting center. Now that we have Nick Claxton, kind of throws a wrench in some of that. But all I know for sure is that, Onyeka Okongwu does not fit the bill for our starting center or even our backup center. We've got a plan without him. He's getting paid $15 million over 3. Chris Duarte, just for salary cap purposes, and a first-round pick for Onyeka Okongwu. Do we get a lot from him? Not really, but he wouldn't really be playing for us anyway. Now the Kings have him starting, about 12 minutes a night. It's something. It's better than nothing. We get a first-round pick, so we replenish what we lost from the Thunder trade. And I would waive Chris Duarte, but because we just brought back Garrison Matthews on a 1-year deal, probably just going to be Garrison Matthews. We accepted his team option, but you know what? We have a younger player in Trent Forrest who's under contract for much longer, so we're going to end up waiving the vet, unfortunately, and we're going to adjust the lineup. And I like the way this team is looking so far. I have Josh Giddey slotted in to start at the 2 just because he has the most potential, but I'm definitely considering throwing Knecht in right away. Yeah, I'm realizing Josh Giddey just doesn't really have any place on this team. Yeah, unfortunately, Josh Giddey is going to have to go. I just can't find any minutes for him with who I want to develop on this team. And we're trading away Josh Giddey on just about as low a value as you could possibly imagine for Maxi Kleber, just for salary cap and a first-round pick from the Dallas Mavericks. They have, obviously, Luka and Kyrie, but after that, there's not a lot of playmaking as far as the guard spot goes. And while Josh Giddey is not great, he's a very good passer, and he's got high potential, way higher than what they have currently with Jaden Hardy, Dante Exum, and depending on what Stephon Castle could turn into. So we're going to send him away. We have a ton of, salary cap available. I am not trying to tank this year, though. I actually want to be pretty decent. So we are going to end up maybe signing one vet in free agency, but I don't think he'll probably play much, just to fill out the roster. And that is going to be former Brandon Ingram teammate Jose Alvarado. We're just going to give him a 2-year, $10 million with a team option. I think I have the lineup set. This is what I'm feeling. I don't know if I should give AJ Griffin the start, but I'm going to, because the other options are Dalton Knecht, who I want to develop into that, Jordan Hawkins, who could be decent in that spot, maybe. But Trae Young and Jalen Johnson getting 36 minutes a night. Brandon Ingram, who we just brought in for the DeJounte Murray trade, getting 34 minutes a night. Nick Claxton, the newly acquired free agent, getting 32. And then AJ Griffin with 28 minutes a night. Dalton Knecht, Donovan Clingan, Tajon Salon. 3 rookies getting the most minutes on the bench. How's that going to fare? I don't know. Jordan Hawkins, Kobe Buffkin, Jose Alvarado getting a few minutes as well, with Bruno Fernando getting 1. Then we have 3, vets besides Trenton Forrest sitting in the reserves. So we have a 70% split, 30% with the starters and the bench. We are projected to be the worst offense and the 20th best defense. Remains to be determined. We take on the Brooklyn Nets in game number 1, and typically I wouldn't care that much about opening week, as they are slotted to start in Ben Simmons here. But I am actually going to live sim this game and hope to God, fingers crossed, that we can show some promise. And if this team actually gets off to a good start and ends up winning this game, again, it's against the Brooklyn Nets, who are not very good, I'll feel pretty reassured in my, slotting in for the overall starters. And maybe we'll keep it and run through some teams just to see what this team can do overall. Because I'm really focused on development first and foremost, because I think we have the right guys in the building. As halfway through the third quarter, we are losing the lead here, down by 4, 5, 6 now. Now we are blowing past the competition. It's 136 to 120. We'll see if we can do some damage. Trae Young ISOing on, oh my God, who is that open on the outside? I gotta get used to these names. Nick Claxton's out there. AJ Griffin slotted in on Mikal Bridges. Kick it out to Nick Claxton from 3. Can he knock it down? No, it's not even close. Not even close. That's not really a part of his game. I mean, he can shoot, but not the best shooter. Show me why we brought you in. Give me a little ISO, fade away, floater, it's off. Okay, so far, not good when I'm actually using this team. Can we block the paint maybe? Don't fucking foul when he's driving in. I mean, the game's over, but what's the thought process behind your decision? We're just gonna run one more play, and I guess we'll just dunk it with Brandon Ingram, get the stats up, and the game is over. So home opener against the Nets ends up resulting in a win by 14 points. Player of the game was Trae Young with 36, 3, and 17. So I'm glad we didn't get rid of Trae Young. I actually heavily considered trading him away to maybe Minnesota for Karl Anthony Towns as a potential trade. Clearly not going to do that. Also, the Magic, the Spurs, a couple good options. But we decided to stick with the right guy, it looks like, so far. So now we're going to take on the Pacers quick sim, and we get absolutely destroyed. Tyrese Halliburton, very similar stat line to Trae Young, but he had 5 steals. And now we take on the Charlotte Hornets. So what are we going to do as far as our overall lineup? Maybe take a minute away from AJ Griffin, give it to Jordan Hawkins. I'd say he's pretty much played well enough to earn that. This team's going to have some growing pains. We have to develop. We take on the Hornets. We're going to quick sim this game as well, and we destroy them by 22 points. Trae Young had 47 and 13. And if we look at the box score, Nick Claxton did not bring his A game, but the bench played pretty well overall. Brandon Ingram had 28. And now we take on the Charlotte Hornets again. So it's a back-to-back. Are they going to get their revenge? I'm also going to adjust Brandon Ingram as far as his number, his style, because right now he's kind of got more of a scruffy goatee and his dreads are, a lot tighter. So this is how I'm going to have his look set up, and I'm definitely not going to let him rock number 52. I went through and adjusted some numbers and, some gear for some players. But anyway, let's get back into this. Let's get a couple more games underway. Let's go ahead and get through this doubleheader here. As Charlotte gets their revenge, we fall to them 134 to 138. Trae Young, very impressive stuff. As we take on the Warriors, Steph Curry not looking good. We'll probably hop into this game, and then we'll take on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are undefeated so far. We'll probably stop here with this Golden State game. So let's go ahead and get to the fourth quarter. Let's get to where the money's made. Things are not looking good right now. We are currently down by a lot. I don't know the math, maybe like 20-something. So let's go ahead and make something happen. Trae Young, maybe get shifty, maybe get inside. Nice move, floaters up and in. No foul. Trae Young, good defense. Nope. Dennis Smith Jr. just dunks all over you. Brandon Ingram, 2-on-1. Doesn't matter. He gets a nice layup. He's got 21 points. And Curry's going to pull up from 3, and it's out. Get the fucking rebound, guys. Where's the aggressiveness on defense? No one wants to box out. Kuminga going the other way. Let's stay in front of him if we can. Oh, that's just a bad pass. Somehow that got to Klay Thompson. Don't know how or why, but again, our defensive presence down low is awful, as Jalen Johnson gets a nice layup on Jonathan Kuminga. We've got 3.5 minutes to make a huge comeback. It's going to have to start with a lot of good defensive plays. Why is nobody jumping for the ball or acting like they want to put in any effort at all? Could not tell you why. There's no ball movement. We're just bully ball all day. Doesn't matter. Jalen Johnson. Let's get some serious ball movement going. AJ Griffin, nice move. Falls to the ground. Doesn't get the call. Again, the refs just completely fucking blind. Cannot see what's happening here. As underneath, Moses Moody gets open. Klingon cleans up the board. And in transition is AJ Griffin. Again, a huge dunk. It's off. How do you miss a dunk? Okay, he's going the other way. Please just get in his way. Jalen Johnson, not even anywhere to be found. Donovan Klingon loses the ball, and now Klay Thompson's going the other way. We foul him on the 3. All right, 135-104. Not our best performance. And Golden State, who literally only had 1 win so far, beats us. Now we are 2-3 on the season so far. Take on Charlotte and the Nets again, and then we take on the Sixers twice. Like, is this just the most uninspired schedule you've ever seen? Maybe. The only 2 undefeated teams through 5 games are Dallas and Minnesota. Dallas averaging 136 points per game in those first 5 matchups. Our team Not great so far. Trae Young, huge carry job right now. Brandon Ingram, 24 points. So far through 5 games, Jalen Johnson, who has a little bit of a goatee. I'm not going to give him that. Anyway, yeah, Jalen Johnson, points per game is definitely taking a little bit of a step back. We do have an upgrade for Jordan Hawkins, so we'll go ahead and use that now. We'll probably save that three-pointer, but we will upgrade the layup, and then we'll upgrade the stealing as well. So he's pretty close to being maxed out. Again, I thought this team would be better with these trades I've made, but so far, you know, it's a small sample size, but so far not great. We got a lot of players to develop, and we've been aggressive in the offseason so far. Doesn't mean we'll stop here by any means. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of the new look Hawks team, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.